I'm getting older, but I still can't redefine. 'Cause my world is on fire, but we're saying we're doing fine. I never thought I'd make it here past 25. Ooh, but maybe I just overthinking and wasting time. 'Cause I don't wanna know.
Hi, it's Rachel. I am back, this time with a real mic. As you can see, today we're doing our annual tradition, and by annual I mean this is my second year doing it. Welcome to everything I wish I knew in second year. I will say that second year was considerably better than first year. That being said, I think there are still a lot of things I wish I knew going into it, so I'm gonna share that with you guys today. I just finished my second year at Western University, going into my HPA 1 year at Ivey. First, I'm gonna start off with academics. Mainly in this section, I'll be talking about Business 2257, which is the only prerequisite course that you have to take before Ivey. This course is pretty notorious at Western. 2257 uses the Ivey case-based learning method, which means that every week you're taught a lesson and then you're given 1 to 2 cases to do for homework, and then when you come back the next week, take it up in class. You're marked on your participation, or as they call it, contribution. This is the full breakdown. But there is midterms, your final exam, your feasibility project, and then your contribution. That makes up the course. For context, there's also another course called Business 1220, which is not recommended, but it's also an Ivey course, and you can take it in first year. I did not take this course, so going into 2257, I was like a little bit nervous. I've never done a 4-hour exam before. Leading up to this first midterm, I did all the cases one time, and then I got my midterm back. And let me tell you, it was the lowest mark I've gotten in my university experience. Naturally, I freaked out. I was like, it's freaking over for me. I'm gonna fail this course. I'm gonna fail university. If you're like me, chill out. The first thing I did was I talked to my 2257 prof. I went to his office hours and I was like, bro, I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do. So he told me, Rachel, like, chill out. You're going to find a career. Your life is not over right now. A lot of people are actually in the same boat as you. A lot of people didn't take 2257 before. I think you can really bring it back up. It's not the end of the world. And so I was like, okay, I can do this. What I learned through the course. This is my advice for you. 1, do the cases multiple times. You should be doing the cases until you really understand the concepts. 2, study with a group of friends. That helps so much when you're with a group of people. You guys can ask each other questions, work through it together. And 3rd, go to office hours. I feel a lot of people say that office hours are not necessary. They're like, I can probably figure out the answer myself, or like my friends can probably tell me the answer. To be honest, yeah, you probably don't need to go to office hours to get the right answer, but I think that going to office hours shows your prof that you actually care about the course, because who's giving you the mark? It's your prof. Who's letting you into Ivey? It's your prof. You need a 70% in 2257 to go into Ivey. That man or woman is deciding your fate. There's like 50 people in the class, right? Everyone's raising up their hand and the prof is like, who do I choose? Well, if you go to office hours often, they'll like kind of recognize you. They'll be like, it definitely helps. That's my take at least. Yeah. Also under 2257 is the feas project. Fees. In 2257, we have this feasibility project. I just had this perception that this was a huge project and most of the course will be based off of it. In reality, it really isn't. It takes up 2 months of the entire year. You get to choose a group of 6 to 7 people, come up with a business venture or business idea, and then pitch the feasibility of it in a presentation as well as a business report. One thing I recommend doing before your second year is to kind of talk with some of your friends and ask if you want to be in the same group together. You don't want to end up in a group of random people. If you don't have a group of people already, the prof is just going to assign you to a random group. While you're doing like your course selection and drafting your schedule, try to find a time that works for everyone in the group so that you guys can be in the same team together, because you have to be in the same class to be in the same fees group. Also, I took the Wednesday night classes. Shout out Isaac. Wait, I don't know if I should say on the internet. So it was a 3-hour class, 6 to 9 p.m. Normally it's twice a week, like 1-hour classes. It was a little bit long and it's kind of tiring to sit in the same class for 3 hours. But honestly, I kind of liked it. I don't know, I just found the vibes were nicer at night. So I thought it was fun. Okay, and then last thing for academics, AEO 2 application. If you applied for AEO in grade 12, wrote that very long supplementary application, what I didn't know was I had to write the exact same application at the end of second year. Because the Ivey offers conditional in grade 12 to rewrite your 2 500-word essays, your 2 pandemic impacts, your awards section, up to 5 additional activities, and then all the email referrals that are sent out. At this time, you're writing about your university experiences instead of your high school experiences. But yeah, that's just something that I didn't know I had to do. Hi team, I just switched sides. I feel the lighting's better on this side. Anyway, the second topic I wanted to discuss was clubs. So first off, I want to preface by saying that I'm super grateful for the clubs I've been on for the past 2 years. Clubs really did make up my university experience so far, and it's been like a really great time. That being said, I'm a person who gets really invested into things I'm passionate about or things I like doing. This past year especially, I found that I was spending a lot of time on clubs. and I feel that kind of took a toll on other aspects of my life. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't join clubs, I just wish I had managed my time better. And everyone's different, right? So some people can definitely have like a lot of clubs and they can still balance other aspects of their life. For me, that wasn't really the case. For context, I was part of 3 clubs this year. I think it's just important to not overinvest yourself. Another thing I want to talk about was sophing. This past year, I was a faculty soph for social science. You can watch my oweek vlog here. Shameless self-plug. When I was in first year and I went through oweek, the very first day I saw the sophs, I was like, I'm gonna be a soph in second year. At the end of first year, I applied and I got in, so I was super excited for that. What I didn't know was how draining it would be. I feel like that's just not talked about that often. We had 2 weeks of training before oweek, and that was called N week because N is the letter before O. The training was from 9 to 5 every day for 2 weeks, and they would go through like workshops, training sessions to help you prepare for helping the first years. I think it's super important that as an orientation leader, you're prepared to deal with these difficult situations. I will say that it was a lot of information. It was a lot all at once. Personally felt a little bit overwhelmed at times. The day before the first day of oweek, I actually got really sick. I got a fever. I was really sad about missing it. Kind of just spent the whole week like trying to recover, but that was difficult because there was so much going on. I'm not sure how it is for resident sophs, but for faculty sophs, we had to stay on campus until the last first year went home, and so usually we would get dismissed at like 1 to 2 a.m. during oweek. Obviously, like you've seen the sophs during oweek, like they're really energetic. They dance around, they're like yelling at first years. The whole point is to really make it more hype and like more exciting for the first years to welcome them to Western. But don't see the behind the scenes where like the sophs are actually really tired and they're like lacking on sleep themselves. And honestly, everyone was getting sick during oweek. I feel that's just not talked about enough. So huge respect for all the sophs, especially like HST, the head soph team. They did so much and it was just really amazing to see. And on top of that, during oweek is also the first week of classes. It was just a lot having to balance moving in, being a soph, as well as your academics and school clubs. That being said, I did really enjoy being a soph. I did meet a lot of new people, some of whom have become my really close friends. And I really enjoyed getting to know the first years and having my own frosh. Although I will say this year I really was not able to commit myself as much to the soph team as I would have liked, just because I had other commitments throughout the year. I think if you're someone who has the time, the soph community is really great. I did a lot of socials even all throughout the year. It's just really amazing to be around so many people who are as passionate as you are about leadership and giving back to the community. Our next topic is recruiting and internships. I wish I had started earlier. Actually, now all the internships are recruiting 1 year in advance. I think it would really have helped if I had just started doing my research early. So another thing is to listen to podcasts. I don't know why podcasts are so underrated, but I feel like I learned so much just by listening to podcasts about like business, consulting. They have podcasts for like every single profession you want to do. So I used to think of networking and like coffee chats as very like transactional. I was like, I'm gonna go into this and then I'm gonna get a referral and that'll help me land my next internship. That's not how it should be. Think of it as more of a relationship. I think it's important to go into a coffee chat being genuinely interested to learn more about the position and not just there to get a referral, because it shows when you're being genuine and when you're not. Research your options and think about what you want to do. Once you like realize, oh, like this is really what I'm aiming for, it's much easier to achieve your goal than just kind of applying everywhere or just hoping that someone gets you in. It's like, how can you expect someone to hire you if you don't even know if you want the job yourself? Good luck on your internship hunt. I know you're gonna get every role you want, and if you don't get the role you want, you will eventually. Trust that everything comes with time. You are exactly where you need to be. Everything works out in the end. Now for the topic we've all been waiting for, dating. Let me start off by saying, why was this year breakup season? 2023 spring, March and April was just breakup season. I'm not saying like for myself, like people in general, there were just a lot of people breaking up. I think it's especially difficult in university to commit to a relationship because there are so many aspects of your own life that you want to put more effort into. You're balancing your academics, your family, your friends, your hobbies, and your career all at once. Not everyone is willing to put that time and effort to make a relationship work. I think that's okay. That's totally normal. There's one thing I wish I could say to my second year self. It would be, don't rush into things. Just like friendships, I think relationships take time. Don't go chasing. Oh, my father is literally home right now. This is so awkward. Backing up the car. Anyway, as I was saying, my father is literally right. Don't go chasing after something. If it's the right person and if it's the right time, it'll come to you. What do I know though? I don't really know anything. Our next topic is clubbing. For sure in second year, most people are legal. I think last year I was like against parties and like going out. I think I said something in that video, oh, like I'd rather stay in. Honestly, like I still would prefer staying in with friends, but I feel like I kind of get it now. After this year, I kind of get it. You know? There there's something about being in a room full of strangers singing at the top of your lungs that's just so fun. I'm like, wow, I feel so connected to humanity. I feel so grounded. You know what I mean? I think it's just a really nice way to celebrate after birthdays or like after exams. My new and updated opinion on clubbing. I know my parents are watching this video right now. Hi, Mom and Dad. I actually don't go clubbing that often. And this is our last topic of the video, housemates. So in first year, you're put into residences, but in second year, you're kind of just left alone to die. They're just like, okay, you go find your own housing now. Like, that's none of our business. I think housing can be really stressful. I know some people start looking for housing in October, November of first year, which is so ridiculous. I was very late to the game. I think we started looking in like January. We didn't even sign our contract until late February. For those of you who are like, how the F do I even find housing? I don't even know where to start. Look on the UWO housing website. I'll link it down below. There's a lot of apartments that are available too, like Masonville, Lux. Start looking into that early during first year. For me this year, I found a house with these four other girls. You've probably seen them in my videos. Shout out, I was gonna say my street address, but I just realized I can't do that. Shout out my housemates though. Picture. So there are 5 of us in total living in a house off campus. I was kind of scared going into it because I heard that it's a lot more difficult to make new friends in second year because you're so isolated from everyone else. Like everyone's in their own little house and you don't get to go across the hall and knock on someone's door like in residence. You don't get to see that many people, the cafeteria or study rooms. Like I will say that no, that is definitely not the case. I think it still is the same as being in a residence because you're living with people. If I ever got like lonely, I would just knock on my roommate's door. Specifically Kathy. I'm sorry. Kathy, if you're watching this, you the best. You the best, bro. I would just knock on Kathy's door and I'd be like, hey. What are you up to? You know, I just like go and bother them and it's like fun. Although we never cook together, I feel like most housemates try to cook meals together, saves time, but my housemates and I never cooked together. So we were just always like waiting around in the kitchen. We would take turns cooking because like we only had one pan and one pot. Another thing I was scared of was meal prep. Everyone's like, whoa, like how are you meal prepping? Are you gonna plan it on the weekend? No, I did not do any of that. I would just make like 2 portions and then I would store one of the portions in the fridge for the next day and take it on campus. Some people do meal prep though. Maybe I'm just unorganized. One thing I do hate about London, Ontario is that you have to take the bus to do groceries. In the freaking winter, like there's so much snow and slush and it's just like cold and you don't want to go outside, but you have to eat. Like you have nothing to eat at home. There are those places that do groceries for you. Instacart, Chef's Plate. There's a famous one with lettuce. You know what I'm talking about? Hold up, I know what this is. HelloFresh. Sorry, it's not a leaf, it's a lemon. I apologize. What I want to say about second year was that it definitely wasn't as like isolating as I thought it'd be because most of my time was spent on campus. It really depends on where you like studying, but me personally, I cannot study in my room or at home. Get absolutely nothing done. So because I'm always on campus, I'm constantly being surrounded with people. It wasn't very different from first year. Also, I really like how there's microwaves on campus. My advice for people living with housemates: 1, setting some chores at the very start of the school year. You don't want one housemate to be doing everything. 2, I would recommend setting boundaries. By this, I mean specifically for those in relationships. If your housemate is dating someone, like are they allowed to bring their partner over? How often? So everyone's on the same page. And my last piece of advice would be to have roommate outings. Going off with your roommates is so fun. It's a bonding experience, you know? Okay, and that's it for today's video. Sorry, I know I got a little bit close to your personal space. I'm gonna back up. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching it if you made it this far. I hope that once again you learned something. I hope that something was applicable to your own life. I'm excited for the upcoming year. I'm excited for you guys as well. If you're going into first year, I also hope this got you kind of excited. If you're looking for more relevant advice for your first year, would recommend watching this video, also made by me in my room on my Windows Surface laptop 2. I hope that this year's production quality is a little bit better. As always, more videos to come soon. See you guys in September. Bye!